So it's Saturday, November 28th, just before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've been up. Since before 5 this morning with anxiety, like thinking of all the things that I have to do to be ready for December 1st. And outside of that, like I actually have a real life that I put too much on a calendar before release, which is no bueno. So I had to get up and get to that document. So I'm done with my final read of In Love with Ezra. And I have to say, I mean, I've been saying it since I was at 30% of the document is like when it slapped me, 50% of the document is this installment has blown me away. And I know I don't often talk about my writing process, and I like to give you some thoughts pre-publication, just to let you know what I perceive of it, what my team perceives of it, and what my process was like developing it. But it's kind of hard. It's like different for each book that I put out, or each book that I write, I should say. This one was a little tricky because I met Ezra and Lex years ago, but I couldn't deal with them because I was with Esme and Raina, similar to quite a few characters that you guys have met. So some scenes have been playing in my mind, have been developing over the years, but there was nothing I can do because I typically take on one couple at a time. I'm about to break that rule soon, and I'm hoping to remember to get to that next. But at any rate, so there was after I was done with In Covenant with Ezra, that took me about 4 months to write, and it really shouldn't have taken me that long to write the book, but I have a very, very, full life, a busy personal life, and some things got in the way, so it took me a little while to do In Covenant with Ezra. And within Covenant, you guys know that with all of my books, the first installment, or if it's a standalone like Lit, I do a lot of character development. It's just a personal thing of mine. Like I like to grow with characters as a reader, and I feel the same as a writer. So I'm giving you different facets of their lives and people they're connected to, and all that good stuff, so that you can get an idea of who these people are. So I did that with In Covenant, and I liked In Covenant, don't get me wrong. Like In Covenant, when I released it, it was just like, it is what it is. I've known Ezra for years, for a couple years now, not as certainly not as long as I've known Asmir, but I've known him for 2 years. I knew he was eclectic. I knew that he was, he was a different character than I've ever taken on. I had already known these things about him. It was just a matter of introducing him to you. And one thing that I think I've explained in the past is, I don't, as an author, and I talk to my author bay about this frequently. When you see characters from a different project get their own books, I don't operate in a sense of, oh, hey, I like this sub-character. I see a story there. Let me give him or her their own books. No, I actually introduce them prematurely so that you'll know where they're coming from. One of the things I often say to my author bay, I don't have to have connecting stories. Like when I dropped Lip, I did introduce Jackson, but that was just to warm you guys up to him. Like that was an afterthought. That was like a last minute thought. Jackson was supposed to be disconnected from Asmir, as were all of my characters. So I often get, are we gonna get a story about this sub character, that sub character? That's not the way I operate. If you meet them and they have a storyline, it's because I'm introducing them to the story so I can warm you up to them. It's not like, oh, I find this character interesting. Like, it's already in the works, is what I'm trying to say. So with Ezra, again, it was just a matter of kind of introducing him to you guys so that you'll know who he is. And I did that back in Waiting to Breathe. So, again, when we dropped In Covenant, it was just like, okay, Ezra, here's your time. But when I was done with it, I knew that there were some things, some scenes that needed to be recorded because they, had come to me, within the past 2 years or whatever. But then it was like a whole canvas that was blank. And guess what? I only had 2 friggin' months to write it. Like, I was thinking about a November release. Some of you, I've already told you that, it'll be released in November. It was gonna follow the same schedule as Waiting to Breathe, September and then November. But my publisher said, no, we need a first. So if you're not doing it November 1st, then you need to push it back to December 1st. And I'm like, cool, fine. That's great with me. I'll contact the editor. Great. So that's why I got pushed back. But you guys know I write these lengthy books. In Love with Ezra is now it's almost 133,000 words. That is extremely long, and I don't apologize for that. This is my world. I do what I want to do. I make my own rules. So long as you guys are, connecting with me, I'm good. But it's long, and it took me October, November, December, less than 3 months to write all of this, whereas I had more than that for Uncounted. You know what I mean? So when you guys get disappointed and you're like, give me my book, Barbara, it takes a long time to write, and I still don't know how I was able to pull it off. So fast forward, I make my deadline with my editor. She's so graceful. I had to piecemeal her a few of the last scenes, towards the end of the book, and she's just lovely. She works with me. So, when I get it back from her, I give it, I do some cleaning, that she suggests. And then I send it to my betas, and we're all reading it at the same time. So I'm seeing it all together, for the first time. And if you guys know me, I have a horrible memory. So some of this stuff, I may remember writing a general scene, but the fine details of it, I'm like, yo, I don't remember this. So I'm being entertained as I'm reading it, you know what I mean? So that's why I put up my profile picture that I currently have up about, if you can read your work without any recollection of, recording it, then that someone else will enjoy it too. I'm paraphrasing here. But so when I'm reading it, I'm really in love with it. I'm quite proud of it. I hope you will be too. I am very, very stubborn, and I'm not a stubborn person. I'm a hugely confident person in my real life. And I'm laughing because I have no problem saying that. My father has done a great job with my security, with my self-esteem. And I'm tickled by this because I talk to my bae about this oftentimes because, I always say Lit. Lit was not a huge hit. It just was not. Love's Inconvenient Truth was not a good hit. That was a pretty darn good book. Like, I loved the book, but you guys didn't take to it as you did the other projects. And guess what? I'm okay with it. Like, I just have to feel, this is not just for money for me. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. This is how I challenge myself. This is how I feel fulfilled. I've accomplished quite a few things in my other life, my other world, but I'm loving LB's evolution, and there's a pride that I have with that. So I with In Love with Ezra, it's like boom, 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 boom. Each scene is coming with something different, something new, something different. Not a lot of character development because I pretty much did it. I am introducing only one new significant character. I'm thinking I'm introducing another minister from Atlanta. He doesn't have a lot of scenes in Love with Ezra, but we'll probably see him again in the third and final installment of the Love Unaccounted series. But I'm talking too much. You guys know I'm long-winded. So my editor loved it, and with an editor, it doesn't matter if your editor loves it or hates it, long as they are effective in cleaning it up. But it was amazing to get her feedback from it, and compared to Uncounted with Ezra when she first met Ezra to to this installment, and when I got it back from her, I'm like, oh wow, like, you guys don't understand the development of this stuff. I record, and it was difficult for me to record. When I tell you my life has been hectic this fall, it was the same last fall, but it's crazy. So I'm trying to get my writing in when I can, because it's a priority, because I have deadlines, involving other people's lives, involving other people's, livelihoods. People get paid from these little books that I put out, and not just me. People actually get, we pay people to help me put this together. So, my betas, I did not use all my betas that I used for Uncounted because their time were, some of them, the time would not permit. I needed this back quickly. Like, they've all gotten back to me, all but one. She's almost done. But I picked betas for different reasons. My proofreader got back to me. She's in love with the book. The betas, they're giving me their notes because I'm worried. I'm like, I know it's a good book. There goes their overconfidence, right? But I know it's a good book. I need you to tell me what's wrong with the book. They hear that from me all the time. Okay, I'm glad you love it. I need to hear what you love. It does stroke my ego. But more than anything, I need to know what you don't like, So, I'm getting great feedback from them. They've all liked it. But I have to give you the heads up. Similar to Ezra Divine Jacobs, he had a 4-book series. We loved him when we first met him.